Well, I've been involved with youth sports since I've been in my late 20s, and I started in 1975. And I love kids, and I've always loved kids, dealing with kids. And I have got out of it because of the competitiveness, the extreme competitiveness in a lot of leagues. And Upward is just ideal for kids. There's a focus on Christ. And I'm not much of a basketball player. I can teach kids fundamentals, but after the first year that I coached, the kids made me a card. And it said, thank you, Boompa, for teaching us about Jesus and basketball.
I have enjoyed putting my child in Upward. He's been in Upward for about 5 years, playing different sports. And I look at Upward as it being a safe foundation. It's a place where we can learn about Christ and implement Bible verses and scriptures. And I think it's important for my son to understand the value of Christ being number one, and also the value of winning and losing.
So many of youth sports are polluted, frankly, with parental behaviors that are not conducive to sportsmanship and not good examples for our young people. And it can become in youth sports hyper-competitive. Youth sports in Upward basketball, it's definitely competitive. And Brad and I were competitors ourselves because our daughters played on competing teams. And I still remember one game when they played against us, and there's hardly anybody more competitive than Brad and I. But every child, no matter what skill level, can find a place in Upward basketball. That's another thing I like about it. At the end of the season, we have an opportunity to share the good news, the gospel of Jesus Christ, with the children. And everything builds up to that point. So that's the ultimate goal. Basketball is the means for getting to that end, to give them an opportunity to learn about Christ. But it's very important along the way that the parents and the coaches are modeling that behavior, because when it comes down to believability and credibility, they're going to believe our actions, not our words. And to see some of these young people now, they're in high school or even graduated from high school, and to see them go on in their development as a human being, as a person, to know that you had a small part to play with that for a few weeks, it's very gratifying.
The thing that touches my heart, and I can see when I'm standing there greeting for basketball, I know a lot of these children's names. I've taught some of them, but there's some that are from other parts of town that I don't know. But they'll come and they'll hug me and say hi. I came to play basketball, or I came to cheer. And it makes us as greeters say, hey, we're here to make them feel a part. When we've gone out to the beach and we've had baptism at the beach, and we've seen some of these children that were saved during Upward, I said, I don't care if I possibly can, as long as if I'm up here on crutches, I'm going to come to Upward to see these children come and grow and learn about the Lord.
My understanding is the mission of First Baptist Church is to know Him and make Him known. I can testify to you that you are, as congregation of First Baptist Church, are bringing that to this community. The number of students, the number of children, the number of families, the number of adults that have been witnessed to because of this wonderful, wonderful ministry is something that I think is very powerful. And I'm so proud of First Baptist Church, and you as members of First Baptist Church should certainly be proud. And we cannot thank you enough for all the volunteers, because we know it's a big commitment for First Baptist Church to support this and to be dedicated and committed to bringing this ministry to our community. So as a father, as a resident, as an educator, I want to thank you also for bringing this ministry to our community.
The first evening of Upward Mega Sports Camp, we had a local neighborhood kid that appeared by his grandparents. He did not want to be there. It was quite obvious. He was crying and throwing somewhat of a little tantrum, but at the end of the day, or the 2-hour program, he told us he would not be back when I asked him about seeing him the next evening. However, he did come back, and he actually came back for each night throughout the program. And each night got better. Each night he started opening up and being more involved. And at the end of the program, he actually thanked me for the experience, and that was a true blessing in what the program's all about. During the last night, when Pastor Chad was preaching and we were wrapping up the week of events, they asked any of the kids that had accepted Christ or stepped over the line of faith to come forward. I was totally not expecting what I saw as Dawson, my 9-year-old, stood up and went forward. That was one of the greatest moments in my life to see that. It was truly a blessing.
As a parent, as a mom, being part of Upward is wonderful, because I know that the coaches that are involved in my kids' lives for those 12 weeks are people that care about them, love them, they're believers, and I love the fact that they get to have not only learn the sport that they're learning at the time, but also to have the Bible study and the Word and encouragement and the character qualities that they're going to, get to work on as children and as athletes. I love to coach because I love to be part of this community. That the kids, by being part of Upward, you're not only just a part of your 12 kids that you have for the week or for the 3 months that we're part of it, or 8 kids, but you're also part of the whole Upward family. The most important thing is our time in the Bible, so sharing Christ with them. And some of the kids you're going to have don't know Christ, or they might come from a religion that doesn't teach the truth about Jesus. So we get to give that truth every single week in their lives, and that's probably the highlight, is just telling them about the Lord and loving on Him.
This past year I thought, I've been here, I've worked with them 2 years, and I'll give somebody else a chance. But you know what? It's not that way. Everybody, whether it's basketball, football, cheering, everybody has a place there.
I will shout the benefits of Upward and First Baptist Church of Lake Jackson from the mountaintops. Upward Sports brings Jesus Christ to our youth and families of this community.
Why should you get involved in Upward? As you're being encouraged and looking at areas that you can serve, our greatest need are coaches. And you're thinking, well, I watch basketball, or I know that you bounce the ball or you shoot it in a little hoop, but I really don't know a lot about the skills. And I don't want any of that to keep you from serving, because the training is fabulous of giving you ideas on what to do. And you're dealing with little munchkins. They are 6 and 7 years old, and they don't know what to do either. So it's great because you're tall and big and they think you know everything.
I invite you to get involved with Upward Basketball, and you can start small in something that you're comfortable with that's non-threatening. Like I did, I felt comfortable being involved first as a parent, and then as assistant coach, and then a head coach. And so I invite you to find your place and make a difference for eternity.